LoveLore Library. Chapter 444, Going to the Tang Family Again. 6. Lady Feng, it's been a long while since I met you. Tang Si walked forward fearfully. His body was shaking violently. Apparently, Feng Ruqing was truly frightening. Bang! Although Feng Ruqing was just a spirit warrior, she had actually given Tang Si a kick in the pants and sent him a few meters away, sprawling on the ground. Simply no one would have thought that Feng Ruqing would lay her hand on Tang Si without uttering a single word. Feng Ruqing did not even spare a glance at the rest. She only looked disdainfully at Tang Luo. Her eyes were filled with furious hatred and resentment. Tang Luo knew that Feng Ruqing had found out about Nailan Yen. However, he would never admit it. Lady Feng, young Master Nan Xian is part of Tianshan clan. You are just riding roughshod over young Master Nan Xian, are you not afraid that you would ruin his reputation? Tang Luo walked toward Feng Ruqing slowly with a smile on his face. Feng Tianyu's cold gaze pierced into Tang Luo's eyes. Even though Feng Tianyu had never met Tang Luo, he had hated him at first sight. This man had taken Feng Tianyu's wife away. It was such an irreconcilable enmity. He would fight him his last breath. Father, let's go and look for mother. Feng Lan will handle these people. Feng Ruqing clung onto Feng Tianyu's arm. Her eyes darkened. Although Feng Ruqing hated Tang Luo to the core, Nailan Yen was far more important. When Feng Tianyu thought of Nailan Yen waiting for him, he clenched his fists and suppressed the anger in his heart. All right. Feng Tianyu would deal with this man when he had found Nailan Yen. Lady Feng, aren't you here for Tang Zi? You should, at least, let us know what the Tang family had done to offend you. Otherwise, we would never know what is happening. Lost in wonder, Tang Er said. I heard that a lady named Rong Yen is grounded at the back hill of the Tang Manor. Feng Ruqing's cold eyes swept past Tang Er, her face impassive. Stunned, Tang Er stared at Feng Ruqing. Rong Yen is my mother, Nailan Yen. The corner of Feng Ruqing's lips lifted with murderous intent. Feng Ruqing's words sounded like thunder in a clear sky. Stunned, everyone on the spot turned to look at Tang Luo subconsciously. Tang Luo told them that Rong Yan's kids and all her kin had died and that he saw it with his own eyes when they were killed. Hence, Rong Yan had gone crazy and lost all her memories. What was this about now? Lady Feng, I am afraid you must have mistaken. Rong Yan is not Nailan Yen. I know you are looking desperately for your mother. But you can't just call anyone your mother. Tang Luo clenched his fists, his face was ghastly pale. He took a deep breath, his lips curved into a gentle smile. Bang! Feng Tianyu could no longer restrain his anger and threw a punch at Tang Luo's face. At the same time, Tang Luo thrust his fist toward Feng Tianyu. Originally, Tang Luo did not seem to care about Feng Tianyu's words. However, when his fists met Feng Tianyu's, his lips stiffened. When both fists collided in the air, Tang Luo could not help but take a few steps backward. His arm was slightly numb and only felt better after shaking it for a while. Dark Warrior, a man in the secular world had actually attained Dark Warrior tier. You have ruined my family by taking my wife away. When I find Yenner, I will fight you to my last breath. Rong Yen is my wife. Not yours. We have been together for 10 years and I have slept with her countless times. You have actually said that she is yours. What utter nonsense. Tang Luo smirked. Chapter 445, Going to the Tang Family Again. 7. Feng Tianyu leaped up and down in sheer outrage as blue veins protruded from his temples. His eyes were blazing with ferocious rage. He fused all his power before him and hurled it at Tang Luo. Tang Luo! I will avenge my wife for the fact that you have disgraced her. Qing'e, let's go and get her now. Feng Tianyu held Feng Ruqing in his arms as he turned to leave. Tang Luo panicked greatly. He turned into a sharp sword and slammed into Feng Tianyu. You can't go. Yen'er is mine. No one can take her away. Just as Tang Luo rushed toward Feng Ruqing, the elders of Paramount could no longer sit back and do nothing. At this moment, loud roars of fury could be heard outside Tang Manor. Everyone in the Tang family raised their heads only to see a snow wolf howling not far away. In a flash, the air was filled with clouds of dust as hundreds of thousands of spirit beasts were standing behind the snow wolf. Everyone was shocked to the core. It was such a large herd of spirit beasts, as if all the spirit beasts of the Beast Mountain had gathered outside Tang Manor. Howl! The snow wolf's howl was loud and clear, as if it wanted to draw Feng Ruqing's attention. Feng Ruqing had tasked the snow wolf to get into the Beast Mountain when she had reached the city gate. As spirit beasts moved faster than human beings, the snow wolf would reach the Tang family right after Feng Ruqing. Today, I am going to wipe out the entire Tang family. Kill those who are against me. Feng Ruqing paused. Tang Si had always been fearful of Nan Xian. Not to mention the fact that Feng Ruqing had brought a few dark warriors and a large herd of spirit beasts. There were actually 2 tier 5 spirit beasts in the herd. The size of the Beast Mountain was as large as the size of a few kingdoms. Even if the spirit beasts were extremely sensitive to odors, they could never detect another spirit beast from one place to another. Biri's brother had lost his way when he went out searching for food. It was true that the spirit beasts could detect the target by smelling the scent. However, Biri thought that his brother had gone for a she-bear in season. Hence, he could not care less about his brother's whereabouts. When his brother did not return for a few months, Biri knew that something was wrong and set off to look for his brother. However, he was not as successful as the rain had washed all the scent away. Moreover, the Beast Mountain was too huge. Without the scent, he could never find his brother. This time, when Biri brought the Divine Spirit Fruit to recruit servants for Feng Ruqing, he had actually met his brother, Biri too. Holding each other tightly, the two of them cried as they let out wild shrieks and howls. That was not all. It was more upsetting when Biri found out that his brother had actually attained tier 5. Biri too was the name given by Biri to his brother. Since Feng Ruqing had named the Earth Bear, Biri, naturally, his brother should be named Biri too. Since his brother's strength had surpassed him, his name must overshadow his brother's. Tang Luo, since it is a family reunion, why are you stopping them? Do you think His Majesty has time for you now? If you want to seek your own demise, you should wait until we have found Her Majesty. Tang Zi raised the sword in her grip as she stopped Tang Luo. Back off. Burning with rage, Tang Luo threw a palm strike at Tang Zi. A glimmer of vicious light flashed in Tang Zi's eyes. The corners of her lips curled up in a sneer. Before Tang Luo's palm strike could reach Tang Zi, an aura swept past Tang Luo. He could not help but take a few steps backward. Tang Luo raised his eyes only to see Tang Yi standing before Tang Zi. His sleeves were fluttering in the wind, his eyes icy cold. Chapter 446, Going to the Tang Family Again. 8. Tang Yi, how dare you betray the Tang family? Tang Luo snarled. Master, tell me honestly. Did you take his wife away? Tang Yi asked coldly, he seemed indifferent. No matter what, taking away another's wife was such a shameless deed. Tang Si and Tang Wu did not utter a word and merely stared at Tang Yi, as if waiting for his answer. She is my lover, my unmarried wife. She has nothing to do with others. Tang Luo's eyes darkened. He suddenly broke into laughter. Tang Yi, since Master has said so, the lady has nothing to do with them. Don't you trust Master? Don't forget that you are an elder of the Tang family. Hearing Tang Luo, Tang Si gave Tang Yi a dissatisfied look as he rebuked. Master, if Rong Yan is not Lady Feng's mother, why do you look so worried? Tang Yi disregarded Tang Si and continued staring at Tang Luo. Slightly startled, Tang Luo's face darkened a few shades. Seeing Tang Luo's face, Tang Yi finally realized something. It was true that Tang Luo had taken Feng Tianyu's wife away. Tang Luo has truly lost his sense. How could he do such a shameless deed? Seeing Feng Ruqing and Feng Tianyu walking in the distance, Tang Luo grew increasingly anxious. However, he knew that he could not do anything as he could not get rid of the people before him. Get out of my sight! Tang Luo snarled as he tried to throw a punch at Tang Yi. Tang Li quickly activated an invisible shield in defense. Tang Yi, you are an elder of the Tang family. Do you want to betray the Tang family just like what Tang Zi had done previously? Seeing Tang Yi pulling no punches, Tang Luo gnashed his teeth. His eyes reddened with anger. Master, you truly have no sense of shame. You should return Feng Tianyu's wife, apologize, and make up to him. Otherwise, if the three influencers know about this, the entire Tang family would get into trouble because of you. Tang Luo's face was cold and nonchalant. You know nothing about this. You will never know my feelings. Yen'er is my life. No one can take her away from me. Tang Luo said, hoarsely. His face was contorted with rage. Roar! Biri too threw a punch at Tang Luo. It was fortunate that Tang Luo had dodged it. Otherwise, he would end up spitting out 3 liters of blood. Seeing Biri too had become so powerful, Biri's heart was, once again, broken. His brother's strength had surpassed him. What about Biri's reputation? Tang Luo, not only has the Tang family maligned me for betraying the clan, you have even taken Her Majesty away. Today, I am going to settle the score. Tang Zi walked up to Tang Luo and looked down at him. In Fengyun manner. A silhouette could be seen walking out of a cave of the back hill, not long after a loud bang was heard. It was an old man in a blue robe. His hair had turned gray and he had a ruddy complexion. With a faint smile was hanging on his lips, he looked very kind and gentle. His eyes were full of tenderness. He was like a breath of fresh air. Welcome back, great elder. Outside the cave, everyone got down on one knee as they greeted the old man respectfully with high spirits. Lei Yun nodded slightly with a faint smile on his face. Lao Wu had looked for me in the forbidden place. He told me that the lady of Fengyun clan died and someone who claimed to be her disciple is here in Fengyun Manor. Tell me exactly what has happened. Chapter 447, Going to the Tang family again. 9. The forbidden place in Fengyun Manor was extremely huge that Lao Wu had been searching for Lei Yun for a long while. Once Lei Yun heard Lao Wu's words, he got out of the cave immediately. However, Lei Yun did not believe that the lady of Fengyun clan had died. Great elder, you're right. Everyone got up and walked respectfully after Lei Yun. Oh yeah, did you assign someone to watch the lady? I think this thing is not as simple as it seems. Lei Yun paused and asked. As the identity of the lady of Fengyun clan has always been highly protected, I could never send anyone else except Qin Yuan. He has always been watching the Tang family. However, he had to leave as something had happened to Qin Yuan's betrothed recently. Hence, I have assigned another person to go there. That person must be on his way now. The Great Guardian was walking closely after Lei Yun as he answered respectfully. It would only take a few days and should not be a big issue. Moreover, nothing had happened to the Tang family besides the fact that someone had beaten up the 2 elders. The great elder's face was nonchalant. Simply no one could read his mind. Walking after the great elder, everyone left the back hill of Fengyun Manor. Suddenly, the great elder stopped in his tracks. Inside a familiar courtyard, a servant was sitting next to the gazebo with a flower in her hand, a great, three-spirit herb. Stop messing around. Who is your master? Who has allowed you to step into this place? Burning with anger, Lei Yun snarled. She is the servant whom Tang Yu had brought from the Tang family. Feng Ying glanced at the lady as he said. Tang Yu. The disciple of the lady of Fengyun clan. No matter what, no one was allowed to set foot in this place. Without any hesitation, Lei Yun rushed into the gazebo, picked the lady up and threw her out of the Feng Qing court. This is the rule of Fengyun clan. Feng Ying, you have actually forgotten the rules of Fengyun clan. Who has allowed her to do this? Exploding with rage, Lei Yun looked down at the lady who had fallen to the ground. His eyes turned extremely fierce. Pfft! Who do you think you are to do this? I am the servant of the house lady, Tang Yu. When my house lady is back, she will definitely throw you out of Fengyun Manor. Slightly startled, the servant quickly recovered from her stupor and got up. She dusted off her robe as she snorted. These days, Tang Yu had been throwing her weight around in Fengyun Manor. Her close-knitted servant had since taken advantage of Tang Yu and rode roughshod over everyone in the manor. Ha! Lei Yun broke into laughter. You tell me. Who has allowed her step into this place? The corner of his lips curved into a scornful sneer as he turned to look at Feng Ying. Great Elder, when the fifth elder looked for you in the forbidden place that day, Tang Yu had run wild and simply no one could handle her. Not only did she make Hong Yu her servant, but she had also taken over the Feng Qing court and had even changed its name to Feng Yu court. She is the house lady of Fengyun clan and I am just a servant. I can't stop her from doing this. Feng Ying got down on one knee, her face was calm and nonchalant. Hearing this, Lei Yun's eyes were blazing with furious rage. He did not notice the word engraved on the plaque just now. He quickly turned his head only to see that the words Feng Qing Court had indeed been changed to Feng Yu Court. The courtyard was no longer the one he was familiar with. Boom! Lei Yun swung his hand, a strong power slammed right into the plaque. The plaque broke it into two parts, crashing to the ground in a cloud of dust. Although Tang Yu is holding the token of the Lady of Fengyun clan and had learned martial arts from her, it doesn't prove that Tang Yu is truly the Lady of Fengyun clan's disciple. Moreover, even if Tang Wu has confirmed that Tang Yu is the Lady of Fengyun clan's disciple, she is not the house lady of Fengyun clan. Chapter 448, Going to the Tang family again X, there is only one lady of the Fengyun clan. Boiling with rage, Lei Yun's face turned extremely ferocious. After all, the disciple of the Lady of Fengyun clan was no match to a daughter. Previously, Tang Wu had even complimented that Tang Yu was docile and cordial. Little did he know that Tang Yu showed her true colors as soon as Tang Wu left the manor. Ha! If she is truly docile and cordial, then no one else is overbearing in the entire realm. Take this maiden back to the Tang family. We don't need a bratty servant in Fengyun Manor. Suppressing the anger in his heart, Lei Yun clenched his fists as he snarled. The servant was so overbearing, let alone her house lady, Tang Yu. You can't do this to me. When my house lady is back, stunned, the servant struggled to escape from the grip. Her face was drained of color. Bang! The great elder raised his arm, an aura was emitted from his arm and it slammed right at the maiden, sending her flying out of the court. When the Lady of Fengyun clan is not around, I will reign over Fengyun clan. If I throw you out, who dares to take you in? Lei Yun's eyes were blazing with anger as he looked down at her. The servant was thrown out the manor before she could respond. It seemed like she had lost her voice. The entire manor sank into a peaceful silence. What else has she done? Lei Yun clenched his fists hard as he stared at Feng Qin court that was greatly messed up. His heart was filled with great pain, his face was twisted in anger. She had selected a few masters from Fengyun Manor to be her guards and had gone back to the Tang family after that, Feng Ying answered earnestly. The Tang family. Let's go. I want to know if she is truly the disciple of the lady of Fengyun clan. Lei Yun smirked. The lady of Fengyun clan was so gentle and kind. Lei Yun could never believe that she had actually taken in such a bratty disciple. At your command, Great Elder. Feng Ying's eyes lit up. As long as the Great Elder said this, he could go, full steam, ahead. Oh yeah, you said that Qin Yuan has always been watching the Tang family but he had left as something happened to his betrothed? Lei Yun asked with a low voice. Great Elder, you're right. Is there any issue? Feng Ying was slightly startled. If his betrothed needs help, anyone from the Fengyun clan could help her. Why does he have to go there himself? Lei Yun's eyes narrowed. But, Feng Ying continued after pausing for a while. Before Qin Yuan left, he had tasked a few subordinates to watch the Tang family secretly. There are dark warriors in the Tang family. If they get too close, they would be exposed. Hence, Qin Yuan had tasked them to watch from afar. However, I am still worried. Hence, I have asked Guardian Tianyu to go there. He should be on his way now. Even though the Tang family was a low-ranking clan in the reclusive world, there were actually a few dark warriors in the Tang family. They would create a stir in the Tang family if they get too close. The things that had happened in the Tang family recently were the news they got from the subordinates who were tasked to watch the Tang family. As they could never get close to the Tang family, they could only get some news from the servants of the Tang family. I hope I am just overthinking. I have met Xian before. She is not easy to deal with. I just hope that she is not doing it on purpose. Otherwise, I will never let go of those who have hurt the lady of Fengyun clan. Lei Yun was calm and composed as he said that. Chapter 449, Heartbroken and infuriated. If something was wrong with that girl Xian, then Tang Yu was definitely worse. Perhaps, Tang Yu had realized that Qin Yuan was watching the Tang family. Hence, she worked together with Xian to get Qin Yuan away from the Tang family. Lei Yun did not like Xian. He had always thought that Xian was a master of camouflage. In fact, Lei Yun would never have this thought in his mind if Qin Yuan's betrothed was someone else. Once he had a prejudice against Xian, nothing she did seemed right. He only hoped that Qin Yuan would come back to his senses and not dig the Fengyun clan a big grave because of a lady. Tang Zi and the rest stopped Tang Luo while Feng Ruqing and Feng Tianyu had rushed to the back hill of Tang Manor. When Feng Ruqing reached the foot of the back hill, she could hardly breathe. She could feel her heart pounding rapidly. However, when she recalled the day she missed the chance of seeing Nailan Yen, she clenched her fists hard, her eyes filled with great pain. Qing'er, don't worry. Yen'er would be fine. She is waiting for us to take her home. Feng Tianyu took Feng Ruqing's hand in his with a smile on his stunning face. His wife was waiting for him to take her home. Back then, Nailan Yen could get out of the Divine Herbs sect safe and sound. This time, she would certainly be the same. However, Feng Tianyu did not know why. As he approached the back hill, he grew more worried. He could not help quicken his steps. He wanted to meet Nailan Yen as soon as he could. At this time, Tang Yu was walking down the hill. She raised her head only to see Feng Ruqing and Feng Tianyu coming her way. They are here after all. Panicking, Tang Yu froze in her tracks. Seeing Feng Ruqing, whose face looked similar to Rong Yan's, Tang Yu was burning with jealousy as if countless ants were nibbling at her heart. Her gorgeous face darkened a few shades, her eyes turned extremely vicious. Tang Yu. Feng Ruqing too saw the lady who stood in her way. She stared coldly into Tang Ye's eyes. Her face was cold and nonchalant. Tang Yin had said that Tang Yu was the only one who could approach Rong Yan all these years besides Tang Luo. It would be alright if Rong Yan was still safe and sound. Otherwise, even wiping out the entire Tang family was not enough to appease her anger. This is the back hill of the Tang family. No one is allowed to enter this place without my permission. Tang Yu stopped them as she sneered. A glimmer of vicious light flashed in Feng Ruqing's eyes. Feng Ruqing leaped into the mid-air and was above Tang Yu in a split second. Her eyes were still cold and sharp. Her face was indifferent. She threw a palm strike at Tang Yu without uttering a word. No one could stop Feng Ruqing from meeting her mother. Just as Feng Ruqing's palm was about to reach Tang Yu, a deadly sword aura slammed right into Feng Ruqing. Qinger, watch out. Feng Tianyu held on to Feng Ruqing and brought her next to him. He swung his hand and dispersed the sword aura. Although Feng Ruqing's palm did not reach Tang Yu, the aura emitted from Feng Ruqing's palm had struck her body, causing blood to gush out of her mouth. Seeing Tang Yu spitting out a mouthful of blood, Wen Feng's face darkened. He had failed Tang Yu once when she had tasked him to kill Tang Yin. This time, Tang Yu was even hurt before his eyes. If Tang Yu held him responsible for this, he might lose his job as a guardian. Chapter 450. Heartbroken and infuriated, Feng Ruqing's eyes were fixed on a group of people who stood before Tang Yu. The person who led the group was Wen Feng, who had fled from the battle in the Beast Mountain previously. It was such a small world. They had actually met each other again. The corner of Feng Ruqing's lips curved into a sneer. Her sneer was so vicious that had sent a chill down everyone's spine. You are the house lady of Fengyun clan that he had mentioned. It turned out that Tang Yu was the one who wanted to kill Tang Yin, and it was Tang Ye's subordinate who had hurt her little snow wolf. All the recent and old grudges welled up in her heart, they turned into never-ending grudges. Qinger, stay away from this. I will handle these people. A hint of cruelty flashed in Feng Tianyu's eyes. He knew that both of them could never get into the back hill without killing all these people. However, he had never thought that the Tang family had gotten on with the Fengyun clan. Moreover, there were actually people of the Fengyun clan in the Tang family. No. We must get rid of them as soon as possible before meeting Mother. I am afraid something will happen to her if we are late. Feng Ruqing approached Feng Tianyu slowly. Feng Ruqing did not know why she had a feeling of unease in her heart. She could only feel relieved when she had met Nailan Yan. All right. Feng Tianyu nodded slightly. He swung his hand and a long sword appeared in his hand. Boom! Feng Tianyu went off like a gust of wind. In a split second, he appeared before Wen Feng. The sudden burst of momentum was extremely fast and devastating, just like a violent storm. His eyes were cold and piercing, he looked extremely imposing. He was the emperor of Luyun Kingdom and, at the same time, Nailan Yan's husband. He would not hesitate to slaughter the people of the Fengyun clan to save Nailan Yan. Whoever that went against him must die. In a shabby wooden hut. Rong Yan was lying in bed, her dazzling countenance had faded. Her bony face was sunken with dark circles under her eyes. She looked as if she would die any time now. Suddenly, a strong aura emitted from the back hill, shaking the entire back hill. Rong Yan's lifeless face changed. She stared blankly outside the hut. A hint of excitement could be seen sparkling in her dark eyes. He is here. He is here for me. Tears streamed down her bony face. She held forcefully onto the wooden bed frame and stumbled out of bed. However, she was too weak. She lost her balance and fell down to the ground. A sound of bone cracking could be heard when she hit the ground. It was not a big problem for ordinary people. However, Rong Yan was too skinny and her bones were just right under her skin. Disregarding the pain, she pressed her arms forcefully onto the ground as she crawled toward the door. She had lost her voice and freedom to the poison of the violet milvus bloom. Her life was even worse than a walking dead. She could not even move the slightest. Rong Yan gritted her teeth tightly. As she was severely dehydrated, her skin was extremely dry. She could feel the pain of her skin rubbing against the ground like countless blades cutting into her flesh. With her nails digging deep into the earth as she crawled down the hill. Her robe was torn, the skin on her chest was badly mutilated, leaving bloody marks in the dirt whenever she pulled her body forward. However, she did not give up. There was someone she loved ahead of her. Someone she had been waiting for a dozen years. Even though she had lost her memory, he had always appeared in her dreams. Chapter 451, Heartbroken and Infuriated 3. That man, the love of her life, 1, where she would rather go outside and bear all the pressure for alone just to keep him pure. He was so close to her right now. She must return to his side no matter what. No one could ever stop her, not even God. Rong Yan bit her lip hard till her mouth was filled with blood. She knew that she had little strength left, but still she did not stop. This was because she could not bear for the man who was waiting at the foot to continue waiting for her after so many years, at the foot of the hill. The guards at Fengyun Manor had nearly all collapsed. The only one left, Wen Feng, blocked Feng Tianyu from entering the back hill. Feng Tianyu was still weaker than Wen Feng in terms of strength. After all, Feng Tianyu had just achieved Dark Warrior tier whereas Wen Feng had achieved it for several years. Nevertheless, Feng Tianyu was not at a disadvantage. Tang Yu hid behind Wen Feng, looking pale as she saw the guards being killed by Feng Ruqing. She knew that Rong Yan's matters could not be concealed anymore no matter who won this time. Feng Ruqing. Tang Yu gritted her teeth and said, "Isn't your father and your cruelty doing enough?" The people at Fengyun Manor were clueless about why these people had come to the Tang family. After hearing Tang Ye's words, they were all stunned. No one spoke and was waiting to listen to what she had to say. "I used to think that my master was dead, so I told the world she was dead. I did not expect your father to covet the beauty of my master and poisoned her just because he wanted to take her for himself." Tang Ye's eyes were sullen, and she said, "If I did not accidentally bump into master, I would not know that she is still alive. However, I did not expect you to come to my house to seize her. Do you think I, Tang Yu, can easily be bullied?" When Feng trembled, he could not hold back his anger. "Isn't the house lattice master their house owner? Both the father and daughter are so abominable. How dare they offend the house owner? They even poisoned her due to her unwillingness. Such vicious people should be sentenced to death." Wen Feng was even angrier. He knew that the elders had depleted their ideas regarding the house owner's matters although he had not seen the owner. In the end, the owner was treated like this. Feng Ruqing penetrated the guard's chest with her sword and turned coldly toward Tang Yu. "The person you are describing, isn't that yourself?" "Feng Ruqing, both your father and your viciousness is widely known," Tang Yu sneered. "It's useless to deny that you like to snatch others' belongings. Rong Yan is hers. Fengyun Manor is hers, and even Nan Xian is also hers. Feng Ruqing always wants everything for herself. This type of person should be cast aside by all." Feng Tianyu's face darkened. He stared fiercely at Tang Yu. At that moment, he saw a familiar figure in the hills not far behind Tang Yu. Even if that woman had become extremely thin and weak, not as pretty as before, he would never forget her eyes and her stubborn figure that was deeply engraved in his mind. No matter what she became, he could never forget her. Feng Tianyu's heart broke into pieces as if it was bleeding. Suddenly, he could feel deep anger sweeping over him. All his spiritual qi converged with endless power and was directed at Wenfeng. Chapter 452, Heartbroken and infuriated. For this time Wenfeng's face finally changed. His chest had suffered a huge blow, causing him to vomit blood that spurted to the ground. Feng Tianyu did not pay attention to Wenfeng. He could not control his feet and had quickly rushed toward Rong Yan. He was not able to hold back his tears in spite of always being strong. He picked her up gently and carefully from the ground with his shaky palms. However, the woman in his arms was as light as a piece of paper. He was afraid that the woman would drift away with the wind and disappear if he moved. Feng Tianyu had never been afraid of anything before. Even when he was faced with a strong enemy, he still was not weak. But at this moment, the anxiety in his heart was unprecedented. In the past, Feng Tianyu always thought that Neilan Yan was dead. He was able to survive due to the support of his daughter, despite it being so painful and that he was desperate. Now and yet again someone gave him hope and let him know that Neilan Yan was still alive. He was scared. He feared that hope would turn into despair once again. He could not afford to feel the same pain twice. Yenner, I'm sorry I'm late, really late. Wenfeng was stunned. He believed Tang Yu unconditionally. But Feng Tianyu's sorrow was too genuine to be fake. However, he could only continue to trust Tang Yu since he was on Tang Ye's side. Neilan Yan's eyes teared and her lips trembled, but she could not say a word. This man in front of her was her beloved man. She had initially wished to appear before him with the best appearance. She wanted to tell him that she had been well and had not suffered in the past 10 years. But in the end, she had still turned up looking miserable and ugly. Only because she craved to see him. She needed to see him again, although she was so miserable, or else there might not be any more chance in the future. After Neilan Yan looked at Feng Tianyu and Feng Ruqing, who was next to him, she gently closed her eyes. It felt good to be able to see her loved ones before she died. Feng Ruqing clenched her fists tightly as her heart was filled with pain. It is the wall iris poison. Those who are poisoned by wall iris would be dehydrated and eventually die. And before that, they would become extremely thin. They can't even talk or walk. No wonder Neilan Yan had climbed all the way just now. How much perseverance and pain did she suffer in order to climb down the hill? Feng Ruqing's heart ached just thinking about it. Her heart was filled with bottomless anger as hatred was reflected in her eyes. Qinger, please take care of Yenner for me. Feng Tianyu would have already rushed up if he was not concerned for Neilan Yan, who was in his arms. Okay. Feng Ruqing slightly nodded. She understood that her father needed to vent his anger. Damn the Tang family and the people of Fengyun Manor. Feng Ruqing took Neilan Yan from Feng Tianyu. Feng Tianyu was already in front of Tang Yu just as Neilan Yan left his arms. His eyes were filled with murderous intent as his sword fell onto the top of Tang Ye's head. When Feng's face ultimately changed as he rushed to protect Tang Yu against the attack from Feng Tianyu. A thud. Two swords collided in the air. When Feng vomited blood again. His body was sent flying backward from the collision of the swords. Chapter 453, Heartbroken and infuriated. Tang Ye's face that was originally calm, changed. Useless. Aren't you also a dark warrior tier? Why can't you beat him? When Feng was having a hard time. He also did not know what happened to Feng Tianyu. He thought that they were both the same level, but now, he felt that he was not Tianyu's match. I don't expect anything from a useless person. With the way Feng Ruqing and her father treated my master, Feng Yun Manor will never let her go. Tang Yu stepped back. She sneered, I am afraid that it is quite difficult to kill me in the Tang family. Feng Tianyu's expression suddenly changed and suddenly he was standing in front of Tang Yu. But, at this same time, a loud sound came from the back hill. It seemed to form a barrier blocking Tang Yu from Feng Tianyu's attack. Since Feng Ruqing's appearance, Tang Yu had not moved a step. Feng Ruqing was only paying attention to Rong Yan, so it was natural that she did not realize it. She only understood now. The reason why Tang Yu is not moving is because of the tactical formation on the mountain. The spot where Tang Yu is standing at right now is where the formation is established. If she loses, she can escape through the formation. Damn! Feng Tianyu smashed down his sword angrily, but there was no way to break the barrier. The whole mountain was shrouded within the protection, so he could not get in. His eyes were red and bloody. He was like a furious lion smashing madly at the barrier. On the contrary, Feng Ruqing remained silent. Father, revenge can be sooner or later. Right now, the most important thing is Imperial Mother. It was not impossible for Feng Ruqing to break the formation, but it would require a lot of time. She could not afford to waste time anymore. Feng Ruqing looked down, staring at Rong Yan who had fallen asleep in her arms and hugged her gently. She would not let anything happen to her. She would never let anything happen to her even if it meant losing everything. Feng Tianyu's heart shivered slightly. He turned back, walked toward Feng Ruqing, and carried the bloody woman in his arms. Look, Yenner. Our enemy fled. How can you not avenge those who had hurt you so badly before you leave? You have never allowed yourself to be taken advantage of. I will not destroy the Tang family for the time being. I will wait till you are completely recovered, only then we will get a reprisal against Tang Luo. If you hate him, you must hold on. Rong Yan's fingers trembled slightly, and her eyelids shuddered. She tried hard to open her eyes, but there was no way she could. Yenner, I know you hate this place. This is where you have been imprisoned for so many years, therefore I will take you away from here. Be rest assured, I will keep Tang Luo alive for now. We will go find him after you are awake. Feng Tianyu's voice shook so much that his tears flowed down his face. His fingers held onto her clothes firmly, but he dared not touch her skin that was torn with wounds. If Yenner fell in love with others or married someone else as a wife, it was acceptable. The only thing he could not stand was that someone had arbitrarily hurt her. Yenner, the woman he considered as his life. Anyone who had hurt her would have to pay the price. Feng Tianyu was a cold man with murderous intent, burning in his eyes. Chapter 454. Heartbroken and infuriated 6 Tang Luo was flung out of the Tang family's courtyard. A bear fell from the sky and sat on him. He almost died, vomiting blood all over the ground. Tang Yi and Tang Er did not help Tang Zi and the others fight. Similarly, both of them watched him being crushed by the bear. They did not offer any help and just stared at him from the side. The 3 elders could not be merely relied on since they were not those people's matches. Qin Chen could cope with them all by himself. Tang Zi's sword was in front of Tang Luo. Tang Luo was overwhelmed by the bear, but he was still eager to roll out from the bear's body due to his survival instinct. His blood oozed out, covering his entire handsome face with blood when the long sword ran across the cheek. Just then, he felt an obvious tremor in the back hill, and the whole earth trembled. The formation guarding the hill is deciphered. His eyes sank slightly. Only Tang Yu could decipher the formation in the back hill. It seemed that Lady Feng and her father had finally succeeded. Not knowing whether it was because of Tang Zi or Tang Yin, Tang Yi sighed in relief after learning about that. It was shameful to snatch someone else's wife. Furthermore, Tang Luo had also caused the mother to be separated from the daughter. He only hoped that Lady Feng would let the Tang family survive. As for Tang Luo, after all, he had made a mistake, he should make up for it with his death. The rest of the Tang family was innocent. Just as Tang Yi heaved a sigh of relief, he saw that Feng Ruqing and Feng Tianyu were coming from afar. Feng Tianyu was holding a woman who was as thin as a piece of paper in his arms. The woman's face was pale and full of blood. She seemed withered and was very thin. Tang Yi was shocked and felt a puff of desperation in his heart. That bastard, Tang Luo, had actually tormented her. He did not have the prestige to ask for Lady Feng's forgiveness. If someone treated his mother like this, he would have inevitably killed all the people who had done that. The bustle on the battlefield instantly turned quiet as Feng Ruqing and her father approached. Their eyes were on the woman who was in Feng Tianyu's arms. The original four who stood on Tang Luo's side were dumbfounded, not to mention Tang Yi too. Although they had never been to the back hill, they knew that the girl was in good condition when she first came. Someone even saw her coming down from the back hill recently. How could she turn so miserable in just a few days? Tang Sis' lips trembled, but he could not open his mouth. He pointed at Tang Luo. Feng Ruqing. She was on Nan Xian's side. How dare Tang Luo torment her mother so miserably? If Rong Yan had not been hurt and was treated well in the past decade, the Tang family might still have a chance to live. But now, everyone was stunned. This time the Tang family was thoroughly finished. Tang Si had resisted in the beginning. But now, he was dispirited and he dared not move. His trembling body revealed his inner fear. Empress. Tang Zi and the others had been eager to see her since they learned that Nailan Yan was still alive. But when they finally saw Nailan Yan, all their joy turned into fury. Their empress who once led them to fight on the battlefield was now lifelessly lying in Feng Tianyu's arms, like a broken doll. Chapter 455, Heartbroken and Infuriated 7 So weak. It made those watching feel distressed. The Empress should not be like this, she should be majestic and magnificent. Not like this. Tang Zi's tears flowed uncontrollably. Her face was reflected resentment, and her voice was full of anger. Tang Luo. When the Tang family had beaten me until I was half dead, I had lost my strength and I had not recovered. It was the Empress who had brought me back. She gave me a home. She gave me hope to be reborn. I have never betrayed the Tang family, even though I was driven out of the house and had almost died. I never resented. But now, I, Tang Zi, will retaliate against the Tang family to the end of my life. I want the Tang family to pay for the price with blood. Tang Zi always believed that the reason she was driven out of the Tang family was that the Tang family was blinded and that she was being misunderstood. Therefore, she did not have any resentment regarding how the Tang family had treated her. At most, she just needed to act like a stranger in the future. She had nothing to do with the Tang family anymore. Until now, her heart was filled with anger and resentment. She was destined to fight the Tang family until her death. Tang Yi stared blankly. He clenched his fists firmly and glared at Tang Luo angrily. He said, "You promised me that you would let Tang Zi leave, unhurt. But you did not. You still hurt her." His aged body was shaking, and his face was covered in tears. Tang Zi was not only his apprentice. He had also treated her like his granddaughter then. He promised not to intervene in any of Tang Luo's decisions, nor would he see Tang Zi again, merely because Tang Luo promised to let Tang Zi leave the Tang family safely. Tang Zi's straightforward nature was not suitable in this place full of fraud and lies. For her, leaving the Tang family might have been a good choice. He seemed to trust Tang Luo too much. It was not until now that he realized that Tang Luo was secretly doing so many bad things to Tang Zi. If it was not for Rong Yan, Tang Zi would have already been buried outside. Tang Luo sneered aloud, those who betray the Tang family should be sentenced to death. He did not do anything wrong. Since Tang Zi betrayed the Tang family, she should have died. He only regretted that he did not kill her that day but instead, tried to make her self-destruct. Otherwise, she would have not appeared in front of his Tang family and the others. Tang Yi was so angry his body was trembling, he slowly closed his eyes. He only opened his eyes after quite a while. His face was full of pain. Zir, I'm sorry. I'm useless and I cannot protect you. He should have followed her. Even if it meant to abandon the Tang family, he should have followed her. It was already too late to regret now. Feng Ruqing was there. She gradually turned to Tang Luo with cold eyes and slowly scanned through the other people in the Tang family. Snow Wolf. Oh whoa. The Snow Wolf howled. It was also rare that it did not act coquettishly toward Feng Ruqing, but just standing in the distance looking at her. Snow Wolf. There was no anger in Feng Ruqing's eyes, yet it was a little scary. Just like the calm before the storm. You lead the beasts and bring everyone in Tang family into custody. No one is allowed to leave. Tang Yu did not care about the Tang family and activated the formation in order to escape. She had just checked that this method could only be used once. In other words, the people in the Tang family had lost an opportunity to escape as Tang Yu had left. Chapter 456, Heartbroken and infuriated Feng Ruqing squinted and then turned to Rong Yan who was in Feng Tianyu's arms. I am going to take her away now. Only she has the right to solve the issue with the Tang family. No one else has this right. When she recovers completely, she would deal with the Tang family herself. If she doesn't wake up again, then this Tang family would be hell on earth. Since Rong Yan's appearance, Qin Chen could not move his eyes away from her body. Perhaps it was for Feng Ruqing's sake. When he saw Rong Yan's bloody appearance, his heart urged him to kill. The surrounding atmosphere turned cold. He tightly clenched his fists which were trembling uncontrollably. If it was not for Feng Ruqing's words, he could not have held back his inner's murderous intention. Chainer, don't come with me. Feng Ruqing's eyes turned cold. You need to stay here, help me keep an eye on the Tang family. Anyone who dares to take a step, kill them. Although the beast's strength was strong, it was inadequate. She was afraid that she alone could not guard those people, not to mention that there was still Fengyun Manor behind the Tang family. Qin Chen was the most powerful among all the people here. Only he could guard the Tang family. Chainer, no matter what happens, you don't have to leave the Tang family. As for other things, I can solve it myself. Feng Ruqing continued after a moment of silence. Qin Chen did not speak. He really wanted to follow Feng Ruqing. He really wanted to accompany both the mother and daughter. However, he also understood that he needed to guard the Tang family. Nailin Yan would personally solve the issue with the Tang family when she woke up. Before that, no one could leave the Tang residence. Well, leave them to me. I will give you the entire Tang family. This was his promise to her. Feng Ruqing stopped talking and walked outside. Tang Luo panicked and quickly rushed to Feng Tianyu. His face was almost twisted, and his eyes were hysterical. Give Yenner back to me, return her to me. No one can take her away from me. Feng Tianyu lifted his legs that seemed to carry a heavy weight and kicked Tang Luo, sending him flying out. Tang Luo got up furiously. He was about to block Feng Tianyu when Qin Chen was in front of him. The young man's cold aura and expressionless face made him seem overbearing. Tang Luo's body was forced to move backward under his formidable presence. As Qin Chen blocked Tang Luo could only watch Feng Tianyu hold Rong Yan in his arms. Step by step he walked out of the Tang family's house. Tang Yi hesitated and finally said with an apologetic gaze, "I'm sorry." Feng Tianyu stopped for a bit. Then he continued to move forward. He would not easily accept any apologies. No apology could make up for Yenner's injuries. How did she become like this? Tang Er looked at Tang Yi and sighed. Then she went on to ask Feng Ruqing. Feng Ruqing's face was expressionless. The poison of the violet milvus bloom. Violet milvus bloom. Like a rumble of thunder in the blue sky, Tang Luo's body stiffened. He looked mad. Impossible, it was the poison of the violet wood bloom. I couldn't bear to let her leave me, so I poisoned her with it. She just can't talk and walk. It can't be the violet milvus bloom. Feng Ruqing's mind was initially about Rong Yan. She planned to wait for her to wake up and then settle scores with the Tang family. Chapter 457. Heartbroken and infuriated 9. She finally erupted due to Tang Luo's words. She transformed into lightning and punched straight at Tang Luo's chest. Tang Luo was exhausted because of the previous battles, so he could not defend it. That punch caused his ribs to sink in. His face was distorted in pain before turning blue. My mother was dehydrated and thin. Does the violet wood bloom have such an effect? Moreover, it doesn't matter whether it is the violet milvus bloom or the violet wood bloom, both are equally poisonous. You poisoned her and took her freedom away forever in order to force her to stay. Tang Luo, is this what you call love? She stomped her feet heavily. Tang Luo's arm was trapped and crushed under her feet until the sound of cracking bones was heard. Nonetheless, he seemed to feel no pain. He stared blankly at Rong Yan. Tang Yu had deceived him. She clearly said that it was the violet wood bloom, not the violet milvus bloom. However, Yenner was obviously going to die. Tang Luo's heart was hammered just looking at Rong Yan's skinny face. The pain was so severe that his lips trembled and grief filled his eyes. He was certainly more aware of Rong Yan's strangeness lately. But he was too convinced by his daughter and was too afraid that Yenner would leave. Even if he noticed something different, he would have convinced himself otherwise. To the extent that Yenner had become so miserable. This was indeed his fault, he did not find out earlier. He just wanted to limit her freedom, but he never thought of taking her life. Yenner, Tang Luo's face was covered in tears. He got up and wanted to go to Rong Yan. Before Tang Luo could take one step, he was sent flying by Feng Ruqing's kick. This time, he failed to climb up from the ground after trying a few times. All his strength was gone, followed by Rong Yan's departure. He was defeated. Tang Yin stepped forward. She gently held Feng Ruqing's hand and wanted to tell her silently that she would always stand on her side. It had nothing to do with others, merely because she was Feng Ruqing. Let's go. Feng Ruqing was no longer looking at the people behind her. She followed Feng Tianyu and left. Inner. Tang Wu was startled and subconsciously called out to Tang Yin. Tang Yin stopped with her back facing the people behind her. I always thought the people of the Tang family are just selfish and afraid of death. After all, these are human nature. I can't judge too much. The Tang family's bad deeds have exceeded my expectations. She could not believe that the Tang family, her origin, was so terrible that they had poisoned Rong Yan and made her lose her memories in order to keep her. So, Tang Yin was not as clear as before, but with resoluteness and indifference. I will not come back again in the future. I don't care how Shao Qing will deal with the Tang family. You are on your own now. Be prepared for what comes next. Since she had been living in the Tang family for so many years, it would be a lie if she said she had no affection toward them. Therefore, she was fine not to return to the Tang family. But still, she would not disregard the Tang family's life or death. Until this time, the mistakes made by the Tang family were too serious. Even she was furiously trembling after she saw Rong Yan's miserable appearance, let alone Xiaoqing. Hence, she would support Xiaoqing in whatever her decisions were and not let her down. Tang Yin slightly sucked air through her teeth and stepped out. Little lady. Wait for me. Qian Yin was desperate and she chased after her quickly. Chapter 458. Heartbroken and infuriated she still could not help but turn and stare at Tang Luo when she was leaving. It's disgusting. Bastard. Those who separate lovers deserve to die. Tang Luo despaired. Helplessness came over him. He covered his face with his hand and the tears ran down his cheeks quietly. In the end, those silent tears turned into painful cries. His painful cries echoed through the whole Tang family. Nobody pitied him, not even Tang Si and the others. Everything that had happened was his own fault. He had even burdened the whole of the Tang family. At Yuqing Manor, Tang Yin stopped walking. She bit her lip and said, Your Highness, Xiaoqing, I seldom left the Tang family because of my weak body condition. The only place I went to after leaving the Tang family was this manor. Don't worry. This is my place. You can leave the Empress here to recuperate at ease. Thank you. Feng Tianyu's voice was hoarse. Tang Yin quickly replied, Don't thank me. This is all my fault. If I had gone to the back hill secretly, even one time, I would have been able to meet the Empress sooner. Maybe then I'd have known of her relationship with Xiaoqing. Tang Luo was so shocked when he saw Xiaoqing for the first time, maybe because she resembled the Empress so much. If Tang Yin knew of that sooner, she would definitely go to the back hill even if she would be scolded by the elders. Then, the Empress would not have suffered for so long. Father, just wait for me here. I'll bring Mother to go and rest in the room. Feng Ruqing suppressed the anxiety she had and said solemnly. Feng Tianyu surely knew of Feng Ruqing's strength now. There was a flash of hope in his eyes when he heard what Feng Ruqing had said. Qing'er, Yen'er still can be saved, can't she? Feng Ruqing's lip curled bitterly. If Feng Ruqing was given more time, she would be able to save a person who had already stepped into hell. But, it was clearly too late now. Feng Ruqing saw how hopeful Feng Tianyu appeared. She was unwilling to kill his hope. So, she replied with uncertainty in her voice. I'll try my best. I'm not sure if it'll work or not. There was a hope rising in Feng Tianyu as long as Feng Ruqing did not give him a definite yes or no. He could endure the pain as long as there was still a little hope. Feng Ruqing did not want to waste any more time. She took Rong Yan from Feng Tianyu's embrace, opened the door of a room, and walked in. She left an order when she went into the room. Don't allow anyone to bother me. She closed the door when she was done giving her order. She walked to the bed carefully and put Rong Yan on the bed slowly. Fu Chen, Qin Han. Feng Ruqing's soft voice was heard in the room. Soon, two lights appeared in the room. Two exquisite and angelic children appeared in front of her. Qin Han was stunned. She stared at Feng Ruqing, who was alive, in disbelief. She pouted and diamond-like tears ran down her cheeks ceaselessly. Mother, mother, her voice was shaky. You're still alive. Mother, you're still alive. Fu Chen's eyes were swollen too. Nobody knew that Feng Ruqing had placed herself in the middle of danger when she had pushed them back into the medium. Fu Chen's heart was filled with deep despair and grief. But Qin Han could not stop crying. Therefore, Fu Chen could not show his emotions. He just had to force himself to calm down and console Qin Han. Chapter 459, Whatever it takes, I'll do it. Luckily, she's still alive. She did not abandon us like the 9th emperor that year. Feng Ruqing's mouth moved. She was guilty when she saw their swollen eyes. I'm sorry that I made you worry. Those 2 little fellows were her children whom she had randomly taken in. But there were still some attachments between them no matter who she was with for a long time. She did not want them to risk their lives for her. She just hoped that they would live even though she was not there anymore. They must live and wait for the next guardian. But she did not understand their thoughts. She pushed them back into the medium. She did not even ask them whether they were willing to leave or not. All was done by her for their own sake without heeding their thoughts. Fu Qin. Feng Ruqing's head turned to the woman on the bed slowly. Well, just talk about other things later. Can you help to take a look at her? Is there any chance that she could be saved? Fu Chen's gaze fell on Rong Yan. He was stunned. Grade 6 Spirit Herb, Violet Gale Bloom. How could she be poisoned by Violet Gale Bloom? This poison could be healed. But spirit herbs could only heal all the illnesses. However, Feng Ruqing understood his meaning even though he did not finish talking. She had already memorized the whole book of spirit herbs. She had also memorized the spirit herbs dish. She knew perfectly well what kind of spirit herbs dish could save Rong Yan. The problem was she did not have the spirit herb dish which she needed. Mother, she is seriously ill. There's no other way except that you make a breakthrough to Dark Warrior tier in 3 days. Even if you do so, it's impossible that you would be able to cultivate grade 5 spirit herbs so soon. So, it seemed that there was no way to save Rong Yan now. Feng Ruqing clenched her fists tightly. Feng Ruqing had never met Nailan Yan before. But the blood tie between them made her sad. Her heart was heavy and in pain. Fu Chen, do you have any other way? I'm willing to do anything as long as I can save her. As long as I can save her. They had just met each other after many difficulties. Now, they were forced to part again. She was willing to endure anything and do anything just to save Nailan Yan. Fu Chen intensely stared at the young girl's face. He could see the deep pain and determination in her eyes. If Nailan Yan did not survive this time, Feng Ruqing's future training and cultivation would surely be greatly influenced. Mother, Qin Han and I can make her live 3 more days, but it's only 3 more days. If you cannot find the spirit herbs in 3 days, then we'll have no more ways. Feng Ruqing closed her eyes slowly. 3 days. How are 3 days enough? There was no spirit herbs shop in Yu City. Every family had their own ways of obtaining the spirit herbs they wanted. The spirit herbs shop could only be built in the reclusive world and it could not even survive in the seclusive world. If she went to other places to search for the spirit herbs, 3 days were not enough. In all of her life, Feng Ruqing had never been that helpless before. She was not that worried about the poison in Feng Tianyu's body. It was because she understood that she still had enough time to grow spirit herbs for him. Even if he used his spiritual power in the end and the poison was to spread to the other places in his body, Feng Ruqing still had a lot of time to search for the spirit herbs. But all she had this time was only 3 days. Chapter 460, Whatever it takes, I'll do it too. Feng Ruqing opened her eyes. She clenched her fists even tighter. Her nails cut deep into her palms. She did not notice the pain. Her eyes never left Rong Yan. There was deep pain in her eyes. If I'm unable to save my own family in this lifetime, then what's the use of me learning how to brew spirit herb dishes? Pain, grief, despair, there were endless emotions filling up in her eyes. The pain she felt was so great and deep that Ching Han's heart was in pain too. Mother, my fruit could help you to make a breakthrough to Dark Warrior Tier in a short time. Do you want to try it out? Fu Chen's facial expression changed. Ching Han. This stupid girl. Why did she blurt it out? She'll only harm mother like that. Ching Han did not bother about Fu Qin. She bit her finger. But the side effect is severe. If the effectiveness of the herb has subsided, the fruit's power would be unbearable for you. If the case is serious, your muscles and veins would be injured. You can think about it. Do you want to? Fu Qin covered Ching Han's mouth. He stared at Ching Han angrily. Stop talking. If Feng Ruqing could cultivate the spirit herbs as soon as she made a breakthrough to Dark Warrior Tier, then Fu Qin would not stop her from doing so. But, it's useless even if she made a breakthrough to Dark Warrior Tier. The process of cultivating spirit herbs needs time. It could not be done in a short time. The ending could never be changed no matter what she does. Fu Chen's eyes were met with a pair of deep eyes when he turned his head. The girl's deep eyes were like caves and could soon absorb people. He was anxious. Mother. I want to try it. Feng Ruqing wanted to try regardless of if she would succeed or not. Hence, she would not regret it. Mother. Ching Han's fruit is used to harm people. It shouldn't be given to you. Fu Chen's little face was pale. It is because your strength would not only be decreased to your original tier, your muscle and veins would be injured too. If your muscles and veins are hurt, you might become a useless person. It meant that all her efforts during those months would all go to waste. Fu Chen almost burst into tears because of his anxiety. What's more is you might not be able to save her even if you sacrifice a lot for that. You only have 3 days. What kind of spirit herbs could you cultivate in 3 days? Feng Ruqing looked at Rong Yen gently. He'll never know if I don't try. There are ways to heal me if my muscles and veins are injured. But, he'll have no mother if she is gone. Fu Chen was stunned. He lowered his head. Mother, I understand. For Feng Ruqing, she would definitely go forward bravely even if what was waiting in front of her was hell just to save Rong Yen. But, Mother, why do you like Nailan Yen so much? He did not understand the reason why Feng Ruqing liked Nailan Yen so much. Was it because of the blood tie that existed between them that influenced her? I don't know. It might be because I had no mother when I was at Huaxia. I relied on cheer there. In this life, I have a mother now and I don't want her to leave me. Fu Chen was quiet. The 9th Emperor acted like that too. He risked his life for his family and lover. After that, the 9th Emperor lost his family and his lover was hurt badly. He went missing and he never came back. He remembered what the 9th Emperor said before he left. If he were to lose his loved ones, it would be meaningless even if he had strong power and was standing on the top of the world. Chapter 461, Whatever It Takes, They'll do it 3. Even if she was going to be a useless person, she would be much happier than she was today as long as she had her family and lover by her side. Feng Ruqing made the same choice as the 9th Emperor that year. Ching Han gave Feng Ruqing a green fruit and looked at Feng Ruqing helplessly. Feng Ruqing raised her hand slowly and took the fruit given by Ching Han. She turned and walked toward the door and pushed the door open. Feng Tianyu, Tang Zi, and others were waiting for her not far away from the room. They did not dare to go near the door for fear that they might bother Feng Ruqing. Tang Zi, father, I have something for you to do. Feng Ruqing seemed rather serious. Tang Zi, I have a prescription for a spirit herb dish here. You leave Yu City now and go find the people of Paramount. I'll give you my token. You ask them to search for the spirit herbs in 3 days. If they cannot do it in 3 days, just wait for me in the Tang family. Although Feng Ruqing decided to take the risk for Nailan Yan, she would never put all her hope on herself only. She must ask Tang Zi to do something too. However, she felt that it would be very difficult to look for those herbs in 3 days. Then, she would use the power of the green fruit so that she would have some more hope. Father, go and buy some seeds of herbs from the herbs shop in Yu City. I have the feather Nan Xian gave me when he left. He said if I face any danger, all I have to do is light the feather up. If Tang Yu appears with some people, just light that up. There was no spirit herbs shop in Yu City. It was because the reclusive family there would not buy spirit herbs from the spirit herbs shop. They would buy what they needed from the family who had a supply of spirit herbs. But, spirit herbs were very rare and they would not always use spirit herbs to heal their illnesses. Hence, there were only regular herb shops in Yu City. Feng Tianyu took the feather and turned to leave when Feng Ruqing told him what herbs she needed. It was easier to buy normal herbs as compared to the spirit herbs. Feng Tianyu bought the seeds of herbs which Feng Ruqing needed in under an hour. Feng Ruqing took the seeds, walked back to the room, and closed the door again. She saw that Fu Qin and Qin Han's hands on Nailan Yan's body when she entered the room. A soft green light surrounded Nailan Yan. Nailan Yan's breathing became much stable in that green light. Feng Ruqing looked at them once and did not wait any longer. She entered the medium immediately. It was a clean land within the medium. The air was rather fresh. Feng Ruqing bit the green fruit and bitterness soon filled her mouth. She frowned slightly and swallowed a mouthful of the green fruit. Boom! A strong force rushed inside of Feng Ruqing and she soon felt a ceaseless power within her. But that strength was only temporary. She buried the seeds underground when she had made a breakthrough to Dark Warrior Tier. She put her hands in the dirt slowly. She released the spiritual qi and it entered the dirt slowly. All this while, Feng Ruqing followed exactly what the book had said in cultivating spirit herbs. She just used a little spiritual qi every day in cultivating the spirit herbs. It was not good if one cultivated the spirit herbs in so short a time. The quality of the spirit herbs would be low and the spirit herbs would not be pure because they had absorbed too many impurities. But now, she was running out of time. She must cultivate the spirit herbs in a short time even if she had to do it the incorrect way. The spiritual force in Feng Ruqing was like a running stream and it soon dried up. Soon, her dantian would be depleted. Luckily, she had prepared some spirit herbs to help her to recover her spiritual power. So, she took out a grape-like fruit when her dantian was almost depleted. She bit the fruit and she could feel the spiritual power returning to her strongly. Chapter 462, Whatever it takes, I'll do it 4 time passed by. With Feng Ruqing's effort, spirit herbs which would sprout in half a month soon sprouted in front of her. There was no excitement on the young girl's face. She seemed rather serious. Half day must have gone by outside. The spirit herbs have only just sprouted after I have used that much of spiritual qi. A day seems not enough if I have to wait for it to grow. Her eyes darkened. There was cold sweat on her forehead. She gritted her teeth and took out another purple grape and swallowed it into. She used the spiritual qi in her dantian as soon as her spiritual power recovered. The spiritual qi was released into the spirit herbs. It was an endless cycle. She did not rest nor sleep. Yu City. Tang Yuk slammed her palm onto the desk heavily in the restaurant. The desk split into half. When Feng stayed by her side and dared not even inhale deeply for fear that it might anger her more. That bastard Feng Ruching. It's a habit of her to take other people's things. Although I like Nan Xian and hate Tang Yin is still Nan Xian's fiancé. She's close to Tang Yin clearly, but she still stole Tang Yin's fiancé. Now, she has taken Rong Yan away too. Only that stupid Tang Yin would still follow her after her fiancé was stolen from her. Luckily Rong Yan could live no more. Nobody could voice out for Feng Ruching as long as Rong Yan died. Then, she could speak no more. If Tang Yin said that Feng Ruching was going to murder the master of Fengyun Manor, then she would totally be that villain. A coldness was seen in Tang Ye's eyes. She laughed coldly. Wen Feng, this is the token that I took from the elder's room at that time. You pretend to be a disciple of the elder of Fengyun Manor. Go and order the people in Yu City to kill both Feng Ruching and her father. Tang Yu understood that Wen Feng was only a guardian. Her status as a lady was respected in Fengyun Manor. But the outsiders did not approve of her status. So, the people of Yu City would only obey her order if she used the power of an elder of Fengyun Manor. Wen Feng was shocked. Why did the lady go and steal the token from the elder's manor? How did she steal it? Wen Feng felt that it was Tang Ye's habit to steal without knowing the reason. But, Tang Yu was the lady of the Tang family. It was impossible for her to steal things. He thought that it was impossible. All right, lady. Tang Ye's eyes darkened. And, go and order the people of Fengyun Manor in Yu City to gather here. All right. Wen Feng received the order and left. There was only Tang Yu left in the room. There was a great evil in Tang Ye's eyes. She clenched her palms tightly. Feng Ruching, nobody can steal my things from me. Never. There was Tang Yin who had fought with her back in those days. Now, Feng Ruching was fighting with her too. Nobody can ever take my things from me. I'll use whatever I have to fight for what are mine. It was quiet in the medium. Feng Ruching's clothes were soaked with sweat. Her face was pale and the dirt underneath her was wet too. Sweat ran down her cheeks and entered the dirt. Her eyes were completely focused on the spirit herbs. There was seriousness and determination in her eyes. The spiritual qi in her dantian was almost depleted. She wanted to take more purple grapes, but she soon found that she had eaten all her purple grapes. There was none left. There are no more spirit herbs. If her spiritual qi was used up, it meant that she would never be able to cultivate the spirit herbs. Chapter 463, Whatever It Takes, I'll Do It. Feng Ruching gritted her teeth and stared at the spirit herb. She did not stop moving and the spiritual qi was continuously being transferred into the spirit herb. The spirit herb sprouted and swayed with the soft breeze. Feng Ruching's vision blurred. It might be because of her sweat or that she was too exhausted. It seemed that the whole world was starting to sway. No. I can't faint. Feng Ruching pinched her arm harshly so that she could stay awake again. For Nailan Yen. For the reunion of her family. Even if she needed to use all her spiritual qi, she had to endure it. Time passed by. The spirit herb had grown and a flower bud was seen. But Feng Ruching's face was as pale as a sheet of paper. There was blood oozing from her mouth because she was biting her lip for too long. There was blood in her mouth as well. Boom. Eventually, Feng Ruching still did not make it. For a warrior, one was like a useless person when the spiritual qi was depleted, even if that warrior was powerful. She could only continue what she had started when she had recovered her spiritual qi. But there was only one thought in her head when she fainted. She did not manage to save Nailan Yen. A woman whom Feng Tianyu had missed so much and whom he had endured much pain for. She was her only mother in this lifetime. They were connected by blood ties and she was led by it when she went to the Tang family. So, Nalin Yen recognized her at first sight. Feng Ruqing fell forward and there were tears running down her cheeks. The tears were mixed with her sweat. All of it went into the dirt. Mother. Fu Chen's anxious voice appeared in her mind and it made her recover some of her senses. Feng Ruqing tried her best to get up from the ground. But there was no strength left in her. She went limp on the ground as she lost all her energy. I can't faint. Nalin Yen is still waiting for me to save her. If I give up, then who else could save Nalin Yen? Feng Ruqing slapped her hand hard onto the ground and transferred the rest of her spiritual qi into the spirit herb. The last drop of spiritual qi was like holy water for the bud of the flower which was waiting to bloom. At last, it bloomed into a beautiful red flower. Feng Ruqing fell forward with a thud onto the ground. The first of the spirit herbs were cultivated successfully. She just did not know whether Tang Zi could find the rest of the grade 5 spirit herbs. Boom! Just as Feng Ruqing almost lost her consciousness, she saw a long black sword rushing toward her, spearing her chest. The great pain shook her body and she regained consciousness. That sword was previously food for Fu Qin, but Feng Ruqing had taken it after blackmailing him. But that sword had no use. So, Feng Ruqing had thrown it into the medium. Why did the black sword suddenly attack me? Feng Ruqing opened her eyes and she touched her chest subconsciously. But she found that there was nothing on her chest, not even a wound. But she did not see it wrongly. That black sword indeed pierced me. That feeling of pain was so clear and it was definitely not my imagination. Feng Ruqing was anxious. She quickly used her spiritual sense to look into every corner of her body. Suddenly, she realized that there was a black sword at her dantian. That was right. That black sword was as big as a thumb and it was quietly resting on her dantian. Chapter 464, Whatever It Takes, I'll Do It. 6. Feng Ruqing was anxious. Her muscles and veins were injured because she had eaten the green fruit. She did not find a treatment for herself and now even her dantian was hurt. Am I going to be a useless person for the rest of my life? That sword released some spiritual qi before Feng Ruqing could find a way to draw the sword out. Soon, the spiritual force released by the black sword filled the whole of her dantian. Feng Ruqing was soon energetic again with the power she had gained. Her vision was not blurry anymore. What is happening? Feng Ruqing frowned. At first, she treated the black sword as a holy thing. She had burned it and drowned it in the water for the sake of a pact. She had even asked Fu Qin to bite the sword. So, there was a crack in the sword. She had even made use of the spirit beasts that were in a pact with her. But the black sword did not respond and just it lay there quietly. The black sword had responded when she had made a breakthrough at first. But there was usually no change in the black sword. She thought the black sword was broken and could not be used anymore. Hence, she threw it into the medium. She thought of giving it to Fu Qin one day as a snack. But the black sword went into her dantian without her knowing how. The black sword had even provided her with spiritual qi. Feng Ruqing was quiet for a short while. If there was anything different with her that day was that her dantian was empty. The black sword could enter her dantian because it was empty. Nevertheless, the sudden change filled Feng Ruqing with happiness. She could grow grade 5 spirit herbs by herself with the help of the black sword. She did not have to put all her hope on Tang Zi. So what if I grew the spirit herbs the fast and quick way? She just wanted to use the spirit herbs for detox purposes and no other. Even if the quality of the spirit herbs were compromised, she could still use them for detox. Feng quickly buried seeds of another spirit herb. She put her hand onto the ground and endless spiritual qi came out of her palm and entered the seeds. The seeds soon sprouted. Feng saw some changes when she saw how fast the spirit herbs grew. Her spiritual qi was clearly purer than before. Pure spiritual qi had no significance for fights. But, a clear spiritual qi was important for cultivating the spirit herbs. It was because the time used to cultivate the spirit herbs could be reduced. Normally, there were always impurities in spiritual qi. Therefore, one could only release some spiritual qi into the spirit herbs on a daily basis. Then, the spirit herbs would absorb them and disintegrate the extra impurities. Only after that, could one water the spirit herbs. Hence, the quality of the spirit herbs would be influenced if they were cultivated at a fast pace. There would be some shortcomings in the spirit herbs if there were too many impurities in them. Moreover, if the spirit herbs could not absorb a part of the spiritual qi because there were too many impurities in it, then, it would be a waste. Feng was rather happy with what she had found out. She could now save more time and Nalan Yen would surely be saved. Moreover, the black sword had helped her to regain her spiritual qi whenever she had used up only a third of her spiritual force. Therefore, she had enough spiritual force to grow the spirit herbs. It was truly a blessing in disguise. At the door of the manor, Feng Tianyu rubbed his palms nervously. There were bloody red streaks in her eyes. He fixed his eyes on the door of the room without blinking his eyes. It has been 2 days. Qing'er still has not come out of the room. He did not dare to go and bother her for he was afraid that he might affect her effort in saving Yenner. But, it was obvious that Yenner was close to death before. Now, 2 days had passed. I don't know if she's still alive. Chapter 465, Whatever It Takes, I'll Do It. 7 Feng Tianyu's heart trembled. He clenched his fists tightly. Yenner must be alive. He could not endure the pain of losing her again. He could never leave her behind now. Your Highness, Tang Yin sat on a stone stool beside him. She turned and looked at him. Do you want to go and take a rest? The Empress would never want to see you like this. He had not closed his eyes for 2 days. He did not even drink a drop of water. He sat there stubbornly with his eyes fixed on the door of the room. He did not move at all. If he continued doing so, he would go down before the Empress woke up. Feng Tianyu's throat was dry and his voice was hoarse. No need. I want to wait for her. He wanted to wait for her to wake up so that he could finally meet her. He also wanted her to know that he had been staying by her side all this while. Even if they were separated by the distance of a door. Lady Qian Ning used her finger to poke Tang Yin. Her voice was very soft. Do you think that Empress Nalan could recover? That's for sure. Shao Qing is doing it. There's surely no problem. Don't worry too much. The Empress would be fine. Really? Tang Yin looked smug now. Of course. There's nothing Shao Qing cannot do. She's very exceptional. Even Nan Xian has fallen in love with her. What else can she not do? Tang Yin snorted. If it was Shao Qing, herself, doing it, then there should be no problem. Nobody could say that she is unable to do that. It seemed that Feng Tianyu did not hear what the 2 girls next to him had said. His eyes were always fixed on the door. He still maintained his position and did not even blink. The Divine Herbs sect was far from Yu City. There was a loud explosion in the Divine Herbs sect. The door was forced open and all the people ran out in fright. They looked up at the sky in fear. A handsome angelic man dressed in white appeared in the sky. Gu Xingyang felt a strong and frightening presence. He was supposed to undergo closed-door cultivation. The lump in his throat bobbed and there was a bitter smile on his lip. He could not even escape from him even if he was hiding in the Divine Herbs sect, for he had offended young Master Nan Xian. But he did not guess that young Master Nan Xian would be that quick. He thought that Nan Xian would come and pursue him after the affairs of the Tang family were resolved. This time, Gu Xingyang did not think of running away. He walked out the door after stroking his sleeves. The sky was cloudy and there were heavy clouds in the sky. A color of sorts was seen under the clouds. His beauty was not the kind that was dazzling or captivating. It was the kind of beauty that could never be tainted by anybody. It seemed that it was an insult to him if anyone had any kind of fantasy toward him. Therefore, the women disciples of the Divine Herbs sect lowered their heads and did not look at him anymore after seeing the striking beauty that man had. Nan Xian, sect master, walked forward in big strides. He frowned and looked at the man in the sky coldly. Our Divine Herbs sect never had any kind of disagreements with Tianshan Manor. You have come to my Divine Herbs sect and destroyed my sect. What is the meaning of that? The man stood with a hand on his back and his face was cold. His voice was calm and slow. He was quite arrogant. Gu Xingyang has bullied someone from my side. I just came to take him with me so that she could take revenge on him. The sect master was stunned. He thought of many reasons as to why young Master Nan Xian had come to the Divine Herbs sect. But he never thought that he would come just because one of his members was bullied. Someone was bullied. He angrily came to the Divine Herbs sect for that and even wanted to take Gu Xingyang away. Chapter 466, Whatever It Takes, I'll Do It. 8 Were the people from Tianshan Manor that arrogant? Nan Xian, Gu Xingyang is a disciple under my sect. He is also the senior among the disciples. I cannot accept that you want to take him away for someone's revenge. I'm not here to ask for your opinion. I'm just here to inform you so that Gu Xingyang could come out and meet me. His facial expression was still calm. But everybody could hear how he had almost used up all his patience. He was growing impatient. Nan Xian, aren't you crossing the line? My Divine Herbs sect is no less than your Tianshan Manor. Even the master of your Xinyao Manor wouldn't be that arrogant in front of me. Nan Xian scanned the sect master coldly. That look sent a chill down the sect master's spine. It was like there was a sword at his neck and his facial expression worsened. Young Master Nan Xian. He was the son of the Mu family, but he took the surname of his mother. He was the first who did that in Tianshan Manor. It was said that he was not at Tianshan Manor all the time. Even the people of the Mu family could not persuade him to go back to that place. Hence, nobody knew how powerful his strength was. Nan Xian's gaze fell on something among the crowd. His white shirt turned into a gust of wind and soon he was standing in front of Gu Xingyang. Boom! Gu Xingyang felt a heavy blow on his chest. He vomited a mouthful of blood. There was some blood on the corner of his lips. He wiped it off with the back of his hand. Nan Xian. The sect master's facial expression changed drastically. If the sect master allowed Nan Xian to kill his disciple in front of everybody, then his Divine Herbs sect could no longer have a stand in the mainland. Do you want to go with me or do you want me to take you away? He looked at Gu Xingyang calmly and his voice was calm. Gu Zhenyang's facial expression worsened and he turned to the sect master. The sect master was so infuriated to the point where he was stamping his feet. But he still did not rush forward to stop Nan Xian. Suddenly, there was a smile on the corners of his lips. It was a scornful smile. Nan Xian, the Tang family could not lock Nailan Yen up with their strength unless somebody else came and interfered. Do you want to know how she was pinned down? He stood upright and he laughed coldly. It's because she was hurt that year. That person is the daughter of the fifth elder, Jin Qingdai. 2 days ago, he got a feeling that Nan Xian would come for him. He would not be able to escape then. So, he wanted to transfer his anger to Jin Qingdai. But, the sect elders came and stopped them when they had just started the fight. Now, it seemed that Nan Xian cared for Feng Ruqing deeply. He must not let anybody harm Nailan Yen. Jin Qingdai was standing among the crowd, waiting to watch the fight as a bystander, but she was soon shocked when she heard what Gu Zhenyang had said. Her face paled suddenly. Did young Master Nan Xian come for Nailan Yen? Is that bastard still alive? Jin Qingdai pursed her lips tightly and there was great unwillingness in her heart. At first, she had fallen in love with Gu Zhenyang, but he simply had too many concubines in his manor. Her father was unwilling. She persuaded the women to leave the Divine Herbs sect because she wanted to marry the man she loved. But, she was cruelly rejected by Gu Zhenyang. Until Nailan Yen appeared, Gu Zhenyang stayed by Nailan Yan's side all the time when she was staying in the Divine Herbs sect. He never even entered any other manors. He even cut Gu Zhengyang's favorite woman's tongue when she insulted Nailan Yen. After that, Nailan Yen had reported him to the sect master and he was forced to stay in the Divine Herbs sect for 3 years to reflect on his mistakes. Chapter 467, Whatever It Takes, I'll Do It. 9. Gu Zhenyang came out after 3 years. He bought a manor outside of Divine Herbs sect. He had even dismissed all of his concubines and children. He did not even meet them anymore. Gu Zhenyang had a passionate heart and he loved many women. But now, he changed drastically for a woman and that woman was not her. How could Jin Qingdai not be jealous? Those events had happened in the past. She was old now. She was not that passionate about love anymore. So why did Gu Zhenyang still held on to that event and could not seem to let it go? Jin Qingdai clenched her fists tightly. There was cold sweat in her palms. She retreated subconsciously and hoped that Nan Xian would not notice her presence. However, she was unable to escape when a strong force came over her from the sky. All of a sudden, Jin Qingdai's bones were crushed and she vomited blood. She was quite pale. Dire. The fifth elder's facial expression changed and he shouted angrily. Nan Xian, you better stop now. He was so angry that he rushed toward Nan Xian. Nan Xian waved his sleeves and he drew swords out from strings. Numerous small swords formed under the convergence of the spiritual qi. Soon, the sword speared the fifth elder's chest, the fifth elder's body froze and he stopped moving. He fell backward onto the ground with a thud. There was a dead silence within the Divine Herbs sect. The man's gaze was still calm and cold. But, everybody who looked at the man's calm face was frightened without any explainable cause. The sect master who was speaking arrogantly just now did not dare to speak anymore. All of them fell into a deep pit of silence. Jin Qingdai knew perfectly well how strong her father was. My powerful father could not even take his single attack. Her body went limp and she lay down on the floor. She was in despair. I just want to know, Jin Qingdai's throat was dry. What kind of relationship you have with Nailan Yen? Nan Xian remained calm. She's Qing'er's mother. She is Qing'er's mother. I'll not let anybody hurt her. Jin Qingdai fell into a deep pit of despair. She did not struggle nor did she say much. A feeling of regret filled her heart and she was in pain. If I could do my life all over again. I'll not fall in love with Gu Zhenyang when I'm young. I'll not go and pursue Nailan Yen. But, there were no ifs in this world. She needed to endure the consequences of the crimes that she had committed. Jin Qingdai looked at his father's corpse and there was bitterness in her mouth. She went after Nalan Yen that year and her father had approved of that. It was because the Divine Herbs sect had always looked down on the reclusive world. Now, my father regrets too, Gu Xinyang, I never got you that time. Similarly, you never got Nalan Yen too. Jin Qingdai laughed out loud. Tears ran down her cheeks while she was laughing. You're always talking about the crimes I did. Did you not do something wrong too? You hurt her family and people just to get her. I know what you have done all these years. I just never talked about it. There was deep anger in Gu Zenyang's eyes. He looked at Jin Qingdai coldly. There was a cold smile on Jin Qingdai's lips. So, we're the same kind of people. Sect Master, I want to sue him. He is plotting to destroy Lu Yun Kingdom all these years. He does not care about his status and he has made an attack on the secular world. He has disobeyed the law. He deserves to die. The sect master's lips twitched. He rubbed his temples that were in pain. Chapter 468, Whatever It Takes, I'll do it X. Why did Gu Xinyang attack the secular world again? Nan Xian has even come for that. He did not learn from his mistakes during those 3 years when he was being locked up. My self-image is ruined. Jin Qingdai suddenly drew out a long sword and violently stabbed it into her own chest. Blood rushed out and stained the ground red. Gu Xinyang looked at Jin Qingdai helplessly. He did not expect her to commit suicide immediately to end her life. Gu Xinyang, I'll definitely side with you if you had only made a small mistake. Master voiced out solemnly. He seemed serious. If you dare to attack the secular world, it's already a big mistake. I sided with you once and there's no more second chance. Young Master Nan Xian, just take him away. He's no more under the protection of the Divine Herbs sect. In fact, Master knew clearly that he would not be able to stop Nan Xian from killing Gu Xinyang. That was why he said those words. He wanted to protect their dignity and he did it under the rule of morals. Therefore, everyone would understand that the Divine Herbs sect was not weak in protecting their disciples. Surely, he would never have given Gu Xinyang up if Nan Xian was not that powerful. Nan Xian, are you satisfied with how I solve this issue? Master did not look at Gu Xinyang but turned to look at Nan Xian and asked. Nan Xian was expressionless. He did not want to talk much with Master. Master chided Nan Xian in his heart. But, he still smiled. I have met Nalan Yen before. She seems to be an empress in the secular world. You have that kind of relationship with her daughter. Does the Mu family approve of that? Nan Xian looked cold and he was not as calm as before. The Mu family has no right to interfere with my marriage. He would take care of his marriage business. No one else had that right. Master was stunned. All of a sudden, he remembered how powerful Nan Xian seemed just now. The Mu family might not even know how far Nan Xian had broken through. A soft breeze blew. It was mixed with a faint but sweet aroma. Master was not bothered with that scent. It was because he saw what Nan Xian was doing. Nan Xian took out a dog chain and put it around Gu Zenyang's neck. Gu Xinyang did not know what to say. You can kill me but you cannot humiliate me. Just kill me straight away but don't ever humiliate me. Gu Xinyang wanted to voice out his annoyance but his neck was being pulled harshly. All his objection died in his throat. He was pulled fast and his whole body flew horizontally in the sky. His handsome face was red and he felt dizzy. He nearly fainted. Master! The facial expression of fourth elder worsened. Nan Xian broke into the Divine Herbs sect and destroyed their entrance. He even killed fifth elder and pulled Gu Xinyang like a dog in the public. There was quite a lot of people who had met Gu Zhenyang before in the reclusive world. The dignity of the Divine Herbs sect would be ruined if others saw that incident. Nan, as the sect master of the Divine Herbs sect, Master wanted to stop Nan Xian's action for the sake of their dignity. But his whole body was like a balloon that exploded when he wanted to express his annoyance out loud. A muffled voice was heard instead of a loud roar. There was a nasty smell soon after, and it did not disappear with the wind. Master's facial expression worsened and his stomach made another sound when he wanted to continue talking. His feces and pee all rushed out from him, and it was indeed a nasty smell. His action seemed to create a ripple effect in the Divine Herbs sect's manner. There were endless fart sounds. Chapter 469, White Phoenix's appearance. The disciples of the sect recovered their senses and they quickly rushed to the latrine. They even fought with each other just to get to the latrine first. They just wanted to survive that. Stop. All of you just stop. Master covered his stomach with his hand. He scolded angrily, all of you stop. If not, I'll kick you out of the Divine Herbs sect. You are fighting with each other for a latrine. What does it look like? I'll punish you. Stand there for an hour. His order frightened the disciples. They endured the pain and nasty smell. They were forced to stand under the sun. Master secretly breathed a sigh of relief. He held his painful belly and rushed toward the nearest latrine. City. In the city master's house. A lot of people were gathered there. A middle-aged man stood beside the city master, Yu Buxiong. That middle-aged man seemed condescending. He did not care about the people in front of him. The people of Yu City did not know that man. But they soon recognized the lady standing in front of him. She was the lady of the Tang family. Master Wenfeng. Yu Buxiong faced Wenfeng respectfully. Don't worry. All of the people from Yu City will help Fengyun Manor today. Wenfeng nodded his head slightly. He turned his gaze toward the other people. Everyone, if you assist Fengyun Manor today, Fengyun Manor will never treat you unfairly in the future. I'll see to that. In 2 days' time, not even the people of Yu City came, but also the experienced ones from the nearby Fengyun Manor came too. They did not know what had happened. But they did not dare to disobey the order of their lady of the house and guardian Wei Feng. And there's also the people from Fengyun Manor. There was a cold smile on Wenfeng's face. He turned his gaze to the people from Fengyun Manor. I know that you're eager to know the reason why I want to attack the people from the secular world. It was those people who had offended Fengyun Manor first. They kidnapped her when our manor master was deeply injured. It was them who had taken away our manor master when we have finally found her after much effort. Now, our manor master is poisoned by them and she might be dead by now. Those people harmed our manor master. We must make them pay for this. There was a rule in the reclusive world. They could not slaughter the people from the secular world. But, if the people from the secular world attacked them first, they could do anything to the people from the secular world and those people would have to simply endure it. The people from Fengyun Manor made a stir. The manor master went missing 10 years ago. The whole of Fengyun Manor was grieving. They did not expect that they would find the manor master at last. But, one of the people from Fengyun Manor said weakly. Didn't you say that the manor master is dead? In fact, all of the information related to the manor master in Fengyun Manor was secret no matter if she was still alive or is already dead. Tang Yu had spread the news because she wanted to consolidate her status in Fengyun Manor. When Feng saw how Tang Ye's facial expression changed, he immediately said, "That's right. Initially, we thought that the manor master was dead. It's because she has been badly injured for these past few years and she could not survive for long. Moreover, the enemy is powerful. She did not return for fear that Feng Yun Manor would be harmed too. His gaze turned to Tang Yu and he spoke with determination. After that, we accidentally met the lady of the house. Our manor master saw that she's exceptional and friendly and thus she has given her our Feng Yun Manor's token. She has even taken Tang Yu as her disciple and taught her some skills. She even said that Tang Yu would be the manor master of Feng Yun Manor if she herself is no longer alive. Nobody can disobey Tang Yu's order. Chapter 470, White Phoenix's appearance too. In the beginning, Tang Yu did not want the people from Yu City to know about her relationship with Feng Yun Manor. Therefore, when Feng was asked to act like a disciple of the elder. Soon after that, the people of Feng Yun Manor came too. It made her suddenly lose her wits. Her identity was made known to them. After much consideration, she decided to lie because no one knew about Rong Yan's existence for these past few years. Even if she used those lies, they might not be exposed. Hence, she was relieved. Manor lady, let's go and kill those bastards now. We want to avenge the manor master. How dare those villains poison our manor master? Even if they died once, it would not be enough to compensate for what they have done. Tang Yu stared at the infuriated people in front of her. There was a smile on her face. That smile was so faint that it might not be seen by others. Soon, there was great grief in her eyes. Her eyes were swollen and it seemed that they were covered with deep pain and great anger. Everyone, she's my master and she's also the most important person in my life. She's even more important than my deceased mother. So, I'm sadder than anybody else for her passing. As her disciple, the one thing I can do now is to take revenge for her. I want both Feng Ruqing and her father to feel worse than death. At that moment, there was great anger in her eyes. She gritted her teeth tightly and was filled with deep hatred. That hate was her true emotion from her heart and it was not a lie. Manor lady, where are those villains now? The elders were worried sick for the manor master all these past years. They did not know that the manor master was dead. They must slaughter those people for the manor master. Moreover, the elders might be promoted if they made great contributions that day. Tang Yu lowered her eyes and she laughed quietly. Nobody saw her clear smile because she had lowered her eyes. Feng Ruqing, Tang Yin, if those women are dead, Nan Xian could be mine. After a while, Tang Yu raised her head. She had that awe-inspiring righteousness in her. I have asked around and I have located their whereabouts. My cousin took them under her wings. Although my cousin is a person from the Tang family, for me, my master is much more important. So, I'll definitely avenge her even if it means killing my family member. When Feng was quiet for a while, he asked, Lady, do we need to inform the elders about this? Tang Yu laughed coldly. Tell them. Those people were Rong Yan's confidants. They knew how Rong Yan looked like. If they saw Feng Rong, all her lies would be exposed. So, she needed to make Feng Ruqing disappear from this world before those people could see Feng Ruqing. Yuqing Manor. It was as still as water. Tang Yin held her child and waited quietly in front of the door. Feng Tianyu was still standing beside her, unblinking. His eyes were fixed on the closed door. The night would soon fall. It's almost the third day, why is Qing'er still not coming out of the room? He clenched his fists tightly and even his breathing was heavy. Actually, it was a good sign. It proved that Rong Yan was still living given that Feng Ruqing still had not come out of the room. If she came out and brought bad news, Feng Tianyu did not know whether he would be able to take that, little lady. Qian Ning seemed to feel something and she was stunned. She held on to Tang Yin's sleeves and her eyes were solemn. Tang Yin was stunned and she looked at Qian Ning without knowing what was wrong.